Nigeria marks World Population Day 2025 with focus on demographic future.
Government has put in place various reforms that are intended to address youth unemployment.
Supporters of governing parties call President Tinubu high, seek patience for reforms to yield results.
Investors' confidence has significantly been restored.
The President has made our work in the party a lot easier.
Plus, don't twist VP's statements at book launch to suit your narratives. Spokesperson clears the air.
This Vice President has never questioned the action of Mr. President.
Good evening, I'm Lami Ali. You're welcome to NTA Network News. We've got breaking news, exclusive reports, and the latest updates from across the country. Joining me tonight are John Adams from Lagos. Benny Adams is with the business news. So, Benny, what's new in business?
Well, it's about money, and much more money, from investments in Nigeria's stock market as well as solid minerals. We'll give you updates.
All right, and of course, Bade Adeleye will take us through the world of sports. Bade, give us what's new in the world of sports.
We've got updates in the world of football, handball, horse racing, and tennis as the Wimbledon finals take center stage this weekend.
You can join us on nta.ng/live, NTA News Now, and on other social media handles of the NTA displayed on the screen. Now, let's get the news straight to you. Vice President Kashim Shettima will tomorrow, Saturday, July 12th, depart Abuja for the city of Sao Tome, the capital of the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, to represent President Bola Tinubu at that country's 50th National Independence Day celebration. In a statement, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkocha, said Shettima will join other leaders across Africa and beyond at the grand finale of activities marking the Golden Jubilee of the Central African Island nation's independence. Nigeria and Sao Tome and Principe share a strong bilateral relationship, particularly focused on joint resource development in the Gulf of Guinea. As the world marks the Population Day today, the message of resilience and hope for the 8 billion people living on the planet resonates stronger. This year's theme, empowering young people to create the families they want in a fair and hopeful world, underscores the importance of investing in youth as key architects for a better tomorrow. Olushia Diabo has the details.
This year's World Population Day shines a spotlight on the critical role of health education, particularly reproductive health, in managing population growth and supporting sustainable development. This is Chinedu Eze, a school living certificate holder who has ventured into craft making.
As a youth, if I want to marry now, I would like having one wife with 4 kids, because I know by taking care of them will not be an issue.
His awareness reflects a growing consciousness among some Nigerian youths, but the broader global picture remains troubling. This year's World Population Day is a call to action for countries to ensure that young people have the rights, tools, and opportunities to shape their own futures.
By this year, we expect that 19 children that are 19 years and below constitute half of the population of the country. That's a very youthful population. But beyond that, as you may recall, earlier in June, the State of the World Population was presented, and that report emphasized a real crisis in fertility. So this year's theme centers around that, which is how do we address the fertility crisis.
Experts in population management argue that while this demographic structure presents a unique opportunity, failure to invest in it could lead to demographic doom.
74% of our population is under the age of 34. So it's a youthful population. Once you have the youthful bulge, if you do not invest in them, for them to be able to be easily employed or employ people, there will be problems.
And that's why we are happy that this year's theme has drawn attention to this. We're also happy that the present government is already thinking along those lines. The new coordinating minister for health has also put in place several health policies that embrace youthful concern.
Across the board, stakeholders are unanimous. Nigeria must harness the potential of its youthful population through targeted policies, increased investments in reproductive health to unlock long-term prosperity. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA.
The third annual Global First Partners Academy has ended in New York, highlighting the need for more innovative ideas in mobilizing resources for sustainable development across the world. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports that Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu received a certificate of participation alongside 17 other first partners.
For the third day, first partners from 18 countries around the world gathered for another capacity building session. Lack of adequate resources to finance their interventions in key sectors appears to be the elephant in the room. So, the session turned attention to building their capacity towards helping their nation mobilize resources. The resource person for the day, Columbia University Don and former chief economist for health at the World Bank, Professor Alexander Precker, told participants that resource mobilization must begin with identifying their priorities and presenting investors with opportunities to invest in worthy causes.
So you always have to remember that you're not out there begging with a tin cup. You're giving an opportunity to people with money to invest in things that are good. And so that changes things a lot because you have the power of being able to offer things. It's about a handshake. It's the interaction between you, your personalities, and the people who can provide some money.
It means embracing both and thinking and moving beyond either or black and white thinking. This approach fosters a more balanced and compassionate understanding of oneself and others. It is especially important for children and young people to learn.
The session also featured talks by wife of former United Kingdom Prime Minister Sarah Jane Brown on enhancing the early child education and maternal health, while other speakers highlighted the need for improved collaboration and ties between countries for enhanced economic development. At a short ceremony, first partners were presented certificate of participation by the Academy. From Manhattan in New York, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Congratulations to the First Lady. Nigeria's journey to universal health coverage has attained a milestone with the inauguration of a new governing council of the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA. Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Alipati, charged the board members to work in line with the Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative. Uche Ugochukwu tells us more.
By inaugurate the Governing Council.
The Council, with statutory representation, has a mandate to increase access to healthcare, improve quality of care, and ensure sustainability. From securing funding to improving efficiency, the Council's decision will have a direct impact on the lives of record 200 million enrollees.
We look to the NHIA to continue to drive increase in financial protection for our population, because the pace of accelerating insurance coverage increased, adding 4 million lives to the roll. The Vulnerable Groups Fund expanded and continuing to deliver.
No doubt, the NHIA has made significant progress in recent years, but much work needs to be done.
we will be able to move Nigeria forward and closer to universal health coverage. This is not a journey that government can do alone. So I'd like to call on all stakeholders to join hands with the NHIA as we steer Nigeria towards the path of universal healthcare coverage.
The Council will oversee the performance of NHIA leadership, ensuring accountability at every level and making certain the organization's work is carried out in full compliance with legal and ethical standards.
As the NHIA works towards achieving universal health coverage, the decisions made by the new council will have far-reaching consequences. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is urging Nigerians to support and embrace the reforms of President Bola Tinubu, reassuring that they are not created to cause hardship. This was during an engagement with the national leadership of Ex-Councillors Forum in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
We don't give anybody, unless if you can defend democracy, we do it for you. That's why, Minister, thank you very much. Thank you.
The government chief image promoter has been found worthy for his people-oriented services and dedication in transparently communicating government activities.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, because from the onset you have been always result-driven in all pursuits of your antecedents. To stand on, the statements are all available for us to see them.
For the awardee, the reward for hard work is more work, and therefore reaffirmed that the Supreme Court pronouncement on local government autonomy is part of President Tinubu's noble gesture to strengthen democracy at the grassroots. The minister equally recognized the forum as worthy partners.
So we want to thank you thus far for the support that you have given to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we urge you to please continue to explain to the people, because you are a 70,000 strong body, and all of you also have your supporters across the country, across party lines. Please ensure that the message of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu gets to Nigerians. Let Nigerians really understand what the mission of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which is to restore Nigeria, to take it to the height that all of us envision, and to put it on a solid path of sustainable prosperity.
The Ex-Councillors Forum, with about 70,000 active members, has been operating as a non-governmental organization, playing an active role in strengthening democracy at the grassroots since 1999. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Nigeria and Sweden Parliamentary Friendship Group is building on past experience in furthering mutual relationship between the legislative arms of the two countries. It is on this premise that the 10th House of Representatives Committee on Nigeria-Sweden Parliamentary Friendship Group convened a summit themed strengthening bilateral relationship through education, trade, investments, and political diplomacy. Let's join National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide for more.
First ever special side event of meeting exchange between Nigeria and Sweden. The summit is not just a diplomatic forum, but more of a launchpad for action. Continued bilateral relations in trade, economic cooperation, education, human capital development, agriculture, food security, health, energy, and tourism sectors.
I'm very pleased to see that the group is already engaging with Swedish businesses.
The National Examinations Council, NECO, is looking forward to conducting NECO examinations for Nigerian citizens resident in Sweden.
The Kingdom of Sweden's global reputation for innovation, environmental sustainability, human capital development, and inclusive governance aligns perfectly with the aspiration of our university.
So far, we've had about 25,000 teachers in the past 2 years. Their capacities built to be able to tenaciously support children within schools.
So we are operating in 5 different countries today with over 250 institutions on our platform.
We want to pay a visit to Sweden, whereby we are going to have some certain discussion with their parliaments.
The ultimate objective of this unison is to be a beacon and a point of reference in initiating, fostering, and promoting sustainable partnerships and development that are measurable and mutually beneficial for both countries. From the National Assembly, Joshua Abuja, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has commended Northeast governors, particularly those from the insurgency-affected states, for their resilience in tackling some regional challenges despite limited resources and social complexities. Chairman of the committee, Aderemi Oseni, gave the commendation at an engagement with Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni on the committee's mission to the region. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The visit to the Northeast by the House of Representatives Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is part of its legislative oversight functions to assess the agency's interventions in the region. The chairman of the committee says the tour to Yobe State is to also enable members of the committee evaluate the agency's projects and identify roads requiring attention.
I will create time as the chairman of this committee to go around the whole of Yobe State to see how we can collaborate with you and see how FEMA as an agency will be able to do more than whatever they are doing currently.
Governor Mai Mala Buni expressed appreciation for the committee's visit and highlighted several critical federal roads in need of rehabilitation.
Due to the climate change impact, we have recorded a lot of damages on our roads, which of course it is very huge on us as a state to say that we will fix all the problems by the state as it is. So the intervention of the federal government is very, very important.
This marks the committee's first visit to the state in recent years, with the chairman pledging to advocate for increased support to boost Yobe State's growth and prosperity. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
And the coast is now getting clearer for the return of infrastructure sanity in parts of Borno State affected by activities of insurgents. Post-insurgency recovery transformation efforts spearheaded by the NEDC is coming to fruition as the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, towards social and economic-oriented projects across the state. Correspondent Abubakar Apanga reports.
The Northeast region, especially Borno State, has come under several siege in the past by the Boko Haram insurgents, causing setback on infrastructure and local economy. And to address this deficit, the Northeast Development Commission is massively investing in infrastructure, and this the Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, on the spot assessment, said it is a game changer.
Even the state government was full of praises for what the Northeast Development Commission is doing.
And now to the main tour of projects spread across communities of Ungwom and Dusman in Mafa and Jere local government areas of the state, where 1,000 and 3,500 housing units for resettlement of internally displaced persons are 100% completed and delivered. Others are health and education facilities, skills acquisition centers, 45-kilometer stretch of road, and state-of-the-art edifice to serve as headquarters of the agency, including the state branch office in Maiduguri and electric-powered vehicles to facilitate transportation.
Because life is gradually coming up in that area, and the people too, they are also very close to Jere Boy, where of course family activity is taking place, and they will also take the advantage of the good roads now linking all the areas there.
The projects are in line with the Northeast Recovery Plan aimed at returning life to normalcy and resonating economic activities, especially rural investment in agriculture, as a live wire for self and national development. The minister also met with management and staff of the agency, where discussions centered on the performance of Regional Commission in meeting its constitutional mandate of the Northeast zone of the country. Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
You're watching News at 9. Time to take a short break. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying. Now, the Office of the Vice President has noted with serious concern the gross misrepresentation of remarks of Vice President Kashim Shettima during the public presentation of the book OPL 245, the inside story of the $1.3 billion oil block by Mohammed Bello Aduke SAN, held at the Air Center, Abuja on Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkucha, made the clarification. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports.
The then President, that Mr. President, you do not have the power to remove a sitting governor, not even a councillor. They sought for the opinion of another SAN in the cabinet, Kabiru Turaki, who said, I am concurring with the opinion of my senior colleague. That was how the matter was laid to rest, but that was how my relationship with Mr. Bello Adoke and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal became eternally sealed.
Certain online news outlets and individuals have distorted the Vice President's comment in the pursuit of a mischievous agenda, twisting his account of how the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, considering removing him from office, then as governor of Borno State, at the height of the insurgency in the Northeast region. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkocha, said the sensational reporting, which strips the Vice President's remark of their proper context, ventures into fiction by drawing false equivalence between his personal experience and the state of emergency declared in Rivers State.
Let me put it for the records that this Vice President is totally in support of the actions taken in Rivers State. This Vice President has never questioned the action of Mr. President and will never do that. This Vice President said that, look, that there was an attempt to remove him from office by the then President of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan. What we have in play today is suspension of a governor, right? Suspension of the government of Simfubara in Rivers State. It is totally different from the attempted removal of the then Governor Kashim Shettima in Borno State. And I think we must give accolades to the President, because if not for his actions, if not for the bold decision he took in Rivers State, by now nobody would have been discussing about Simfubara. He would have been perpetually impeached. Impeached means, look, there wouldn't have been any space for him to come back. And so if you have a situation where you have discussions, as it is being alleged, going on to bring him back, I mean, it gives some accolade that, look, that this president exercised wisdom. Because otherwise, by now, Simfubara would have been gone. And nobody would have been talking about his coming back. But through that action, you can see that, look, that there's opportunity for the governor to come back.
The spokesman said Vice President Shettima stands in a loyal concert with President Tinubu in implementing difficult but necessary actions to safeguard Nigeria's democracy, urging media organizations and political actors to desist from the destructive practice of wrenching statements from context in order to fabricate non-existent conflicts. From the State House, Abdulrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Former Accord Party governorship candidate in Osun State, Dr. Akin Ogunbiyi, has declared his intention to contest the 2026 governorship election under the All Progressives Congress, APC. While making the announcement in Osogbo, Ogunbiyi applauded President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his development initiatives, which he says is having positive impact on the people. Femi Afariogun reports.
At the APC State Secretariat in Osogbo, Akin Ogunbiyi was received by party loyalists and supporters. He went into a closed-door meeting with the party leadership to formally inform them of his intention. After the meeting, he addressed party members, disclosing that his decision to run was motivated by a strong desire to deliver meaningful development to Osho State.
I believe I stand as a unifying factor for all the aspirants and for APC in Osun. By God's grace, I have my people across the state, and I enjoy a lot of goodwill.
He commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his progressive reforms, describing them as a step towards economic recovery.
Look at the tax reform. Look at what he has done. All these are progressive approaches to development. Bola Ahmed Tinubu APC-led government will bring development to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Every sector, every state, every local government will be positively touched by the development agenda of our president.
Born in Iliobo in Ayedire local government area of Osho State, Akin Ogunbiyi is an accomplished insurance executive. He was a former governorship PDP aspirant in 2018, but later ran under the Accord Party in the year 2022 before joining the APC 2 years ago. In Osogbo, Femi Afarigun, NTA News.
It is now more than 2 years of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's purposeful leadership, and the voices of excellent performance by various support groups keep waxing stronger in the face of daunting challenges. The latest is the Bola Ahmed Tinubu movement with the theme 2 years assessment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
About 200 APC support groups are here, and it is time to set the ball rolling for an administration believed to have navigated tough times and brought succor through the renewed hope agenda. Now a reportorial analysis of governance and administration under a 2-year experiment of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency is amplifying voices on giant strides in infrastructure, credit schemes, security, agriculture, and much more.
It is pertinent to remind ourselves that the journey so far has not been easy. But as painful as these reforms may appear, they remain necessary decisions that needed to be taken towards achieving a greater Nigeria.
The multiple foreign exchange windows have been closed, investors' confidence has significantly been restored, and non-oil export rose to 78% in the first quarter of 2025 at 3.17 trillion naira.
As a matter of fact, the President has made our work in the party a lot easier.
The renewed hope agenda is a rising hope that is now setting the stage for a renewed mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for sustainable progress in fiscal policy, foreign direct investment, and stronger economic trajectory.
I can promise you that as much as they want to say, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to be best judged, not by you and me, or not by the politicians. He is going to be judged by history.
We Nigerian women express our deep appreciation to Mr. President for establishment of the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, Credicop, capitalized with over 200 billion naira.
The government policy advocacy group appealed to Nigerians to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration in its recovery effort of restoring Nigeria's lost glory and enhancing opportunities for all. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The African Democratic Congress, ADC, says the party remains united, contrary to insinuation in some quarters of internal division and attempts by the coalition partners to hijack the party. This was re-echoed after a closed-door meeting between the National Working Committee and all the 36 state and FCT chairmen of the party. Interim National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi says it has become necessary to clarify the coalition's role and reinforce unity, saying they are working with other partners to build a credible and formidable alternative party ahead of the 2027 general elections.
The purpose is to dispel all kind of falsehood and rumors that have been going around the country that we have come to take over this party from them and to push them away. So we have invited them to this meeting to reassure them that we don't have any intention to push them away. We don't have any intention to shove them off. We are here to work with them as partners to build a strong and formidable political party. All the state chairmen will remain in office. But where a chairman is willing to relinquish his position for whatever reason, he's free to do so. But we are not going to ask any chairman to leave his position. That is what we have agreed.
Mr. Abdullahi says the party will not be distracted, but will remain focused, and its constitution remains supreme. Time to join Hinginu in Lagos for stories from that end. Hello, Hinginu.
Lami, and welcome to Lagos. The federal government is beaming its searchlight on money laundering at the nation's airports through an alliance between the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS. Correspondent reports that they are also emphasizing the need for arriving and departing air travelers to declare all foreign currencies above $10,000 to avoid seizure under anti-money laundering laws.
Nigeria was placed on the Financial Action Task Force FATF grey list in February 2023 as a result of deficiencies in its anti-money laundering approach. The implication is that the country is experiencing increased regulatory scrutiny and higher compliance costs for businesses. This has negative impacts on foreign investments and international transactions. The government has been actively working with the FATF to implement an action plan to address deficiencies in order to exit the grey list. The effort is yielding results with interception of huge amounts in foreign currencies across various airports. This joint tour of the cargo terminal at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport by management of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and that of the Nigeria Customs Service, NCS, is aimed at reducing illicit financial activities across the nation's airports.
We've also enhanced our security screening procedures. As airport operators, we've spoken largely around reducing the number of interfaces, some of which have been done by enhanced security screening procedures.
I am quite satisfied with the measures that have been put in place by FAN. These measures include the provisions of designated places where currency declarations can be made.
The two agencies are working towards merging the currency declaration form with passenger arrival cards, which they say will facilitate the removal of Nigeria from the Financial Action Task Force grey list.
Let's now turn our attention to the environment. Nigeria's target of achieving minimal carbon footprints has birthed the Low Lekki Carbon Demonstration Zone, a pilot initiative of an environmental friendly industrial zone. The project is also part of a memorandum of understanding signed by Nigeria and China at the 2024 Climate Change Summit COP29. Lanre Belei completes the report.
The Nigeria-China Memorandum of Understanding at COP29 Baku provides a vehicle for the creation of a low-carbon industrial zone. To be sited in Lagos State, the commercial nerve of the nation with potential structures, the project will be strengthened by technological inputs from China. Representatives of both countries on this initiative met with the Lagos State government to identify the location of the pilot scheme in Lekki.
So what we can do is give them support, make it something worthwhile for them as an investment, and then for the states, we have the benefits come to us.
This particular project really is to demonstrate that Nigeria has the capacity to leapfrog its economic development by paying attention to some of the discrete industrialization components.
Well, after the first phase, that is meeting with the Lagos State government, we are now in the second phase where the delegation of Nigeria and China will meet with the private sector where they will discuss the goals, anticipated impacts, and the scope.
The interactive session gave the delegation an opportunity to present to the private sector the Lekki Low Carbon Demonstration Zone concept.
I want to see we use this project to learn what's your requirement, what's your need, what we can provide, what will our Chinese government can supply for you.
For us, this is an amazing opportunity for our private sector, in collaboration with the public sector, to, power a pilot, from the Lekki Free Zone area.
The Lekki Low Carbon Zone demonstration, although a template, serves as a blueprint for other states in the country. It is not merely an environmental imperative, but a crucial economic necessity. In Lagos, Lami, Bilayi, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Time now for some messages. Benny Adams will be back with business news.
Well, you're on to Network News at 9, and it's time to talk business. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development is set to unveil new strategies aimed at transforming the sector into a key driver of economic diversification, job creation, and national development. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, stated this at the 2025 ministerial retreat with the theme Enhancing Performance, Strengthening Accountability, and Fostering Innovation in the Solid Minerals Sector, held in Abuja.
National Strategy 2022 to 2026 seeks to achieve. It looks at how all of us can partner from the cradle to the grave. So it has room for everybody, including the private sector, our children, and everyone.
Well, I go back to the anti-corruption story where the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, not that story, pardon me, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development is set to unveil new strategies aimed at transforming the sector into key driver of economic diversification, job creation, and national development. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, stated this at the 2025 ministerial retreat with the theme Enhancing Performance, Strengthening Accountability, and Fostering Innovation in the Solid Minerals Sector. Well, from there, that is it on business at this time. You can take it from here.
Thank you, Benny. Now, the Chinese Embassy in Nigeria is partnering the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, to launch a new radio program aimed at teaching the Chinese language to Nigerians as part of steps to strengthen bilateral relations through cultural exchange. The initiative unveiled in Abuja is expected to deepen ties between both countries through language and education. Suleiman Abdulwahab reports.
Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Yutin Hai, and his team were in the FRCN headquarters to unveil Ni Hao, a Chinese language initiative, meaning hello.
Second time we're meeting.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome to Radio Nigeria.
So thank you for your support.
To highlight Chinese language as a key to mutual understanding and international friendship.
If you could speak the language of that country, it will definitely provide a better tool. For instance, last year, the trade volume between China and Nigeria surpassed $20 trillion.
In Radio Nigeria, we think that introducing Nigerians, especially young Nigerians, to the Chinese language, the Mandarin, will be to the advantage of Nigeria.
The Director General, FRCN, Muhammad Bulama, believes communication is the foundation of human relationship and expressed optimism that the program will be of immense benefit to Nigerians.
We can learn so many the real
Mandarin and experience more Chinese culture, the social and the traditional Chinese cultures.
In Abuja, Suleiman Tabu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembus, has advised media organizations and journalists to promote good governance and accountability through patriotic reportage. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was contained in a message at a summit organized by the Center for Patriotism and Values Reorientation in Abuja.
Security journalism, a specialized and dedicated act of reporting security and defense-related issues, highlights emerging security threats and challenges. The focus of the summit is to enhance and shape public perception and opinions through effective reporting and positive narration that seeks to promote socio-economic development.
In as much as we know we have so many expectations from our dear government to we, the citizenry, anywhere it finds it fit to have done an effort, attempt, or of any kind, by the time we tend to appreciate those efforts, it will serve as complementary to the government and the policymakers.
The lead speaker at the event enjoins journalists to embrace developmental journalism to promote security and good governance.
So when security journalists and media outfits frame headlines that promote violence and create fear, confidence will wane. Such destabilizes communities, it disrupts economic activities, strains government resources, and aggravates social inequalities.
Issues raised at the event include the Freedom of Information Act, classification of information, national security, and the need for continuous training for journalists. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Sports news and more after the break. Do stay tuned.
From my husband's germ-filled journey to work and the sweaty journey back home, what else can give you all?
Bade will bring us the sports news.
Many thanks, Lami. Now, let's begin with horse racing, as all is set for the final day of the International Horse Racing Derby in Kaduna, known as the Renewed Hope Sahel Savannah Series 2025, under division system race. More than 5 countries, including host Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, Senegal, and Burkina Faso, are competing in 7 categories of the Kaduna leg of the series. Speaking on the sidelines of the 3rd day of the race on Friday, National Coordinator of the Horse Racing Federation of Nigeria, Mustafa Bida, revealed that the event was in commemoration of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda.
Part of the transformation that has affected us in the horse industry is that the president has created a level playing ground for us to be able to breed, strong horses in Nigeria, and that is why we are supporting the Renewed Hope agenda.
The resuscitation of it by the East of Nupe and also the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmad Nubamali, this thing now, it has come to stay.
Moving on, action continues in the Phase 1 of the 2025 Nigeria Handball Premier League, with Matchday 5 encounters taking center stage on Saturday. In results of matches decided on Friday, the defenders lost 22-26 to Niger United. Safety shooters overcame Correction Boys 37-22, with Coas shooters, Toji Marine and Rima Strikers all recording wins in their respective matches. In the women's category, Rima Queens beat Plateau Peacocks. Omogiefo Academy hammered Ekiti Queens 40-25, with Defender Babes and Reverse Queens settling for a 29-all draw.
Inside the game, every game they are improving, every game they are playing together, because they've not played together before. But the best is yet to come.
To football now, the new general manager of Kano Pillars Football Club, Ahmed Musa, says the club is on the path to gaining better recognition, not just within Nigeria, but also on the continental level. The former Super Eagles captain, who officially assumed duties this week, says his leadership will be anchored on a 9-point agenda aimed at reviving and uplifting the club.
We cannot all just depend only on the government. We have to open our doors for the sponsors so that we have what we need, like financial support, because that is the main major problem that we have last season. So inshallah, we'll make that possible this season. We're not
finally, Yannick Sinner overcame a not fully fit Novak Djokovic 6-3, 6-3, 6-4 in the Wimbledon semi-finals on Friday to set up a showdown for the championship against Carlos Alcaraz. The world #1 ranked Sinner's victory at centre court put him in the first final at the All England Club. World #2 Alcaraz defeated Taylor Fritz 6-4, 5-7, 6-3, 7-6 earlier on Friday to move within one victory of a third consecutive Wimbledon title. 23-year-old Sinner and 22-year-old Alcaraz now head into a rematch of their epic final at the French Open 4 weeks ago. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Lami.
And that's Party with Sports. Saturday's weather is next.
For joining us on the weather forecast. This satellite imagery shows active storm systems affecting various parts of the country. And as a result, there's likelihood of very early morning thunderstorm with rains in parts of the northern region, and along the coastline, morning rains are expected. Looking ahead to Saturday, with adequate moisture, sufficient daytime heating, there's a high potential for the development of convective instabilities within the country. And so Saturday promises to be active weather-wise as rainfall activities are expected in most parts of the country. So keep an umbrella handy and take necessary precautions as flash floods are expected in some areas. That's the forecast. I am Theodora Itum. Thank you for watching.
And that also does it on the news for tonight. We thank you for watching. Do have a good weekend. I am Lami Ali.
Lives are in your hands while you drive. Protect yourself and others on the road. Road Matters, shown on the network service of the NTA.